Right, so we'll start over again. Joe Jackson's been playing a little bit with AI, and we were having a discussion about AI in general, and we'll get started with his images.
Photo below.
Yeah, thank you. Yep, let's get them all. There we go. Thanks. Thanks, Wendell. All right. Uh-oh, some of these are Photoshop ones. Okay.
Or should they not be Photoshop?
No, well, it can be either way. You know, if you want to work on them, we can do Photoshop. All right, let me get back to this on the screen. Let me just hide this for a minute and see what's showing here. Okay. So I don't know if these are in
Yeah, well,
any, is this the one you were starting?
the first one with the bobcat there.
Yeah.
So that was a friend's, she has a couple of those little cameras out behind her wall,
Uh-huh.
not far from here. Off of Camino del Sol. And so she sent that image, and I just wanted to see what I could do with it. And the first thing was to grow the bottom, to expand to the bottom, to try to get some appropriate looking legs and feet. And then I just went wild.
Mm-hmm. So
I
which,
thought it was right below it in your list.
yeah, it looks like it's here. Is this it?
No,
No? Okay. Sorry. Yeah, I don't see it here. Hang on a second. Might be another. Let's go back here.
is
So here's Connie's cat. Oh, yeah, here's the other one. All right, let's look at these two. Okay.
Sandy, how, I can't figure out also how I'm reducing the size, the image size.
Yeah, in fact,
Accidentally.
they're getting really teeny tiny. I'm not sure.
I was gonna talk to you about that, but.
Yeah, because this one's like 300 pixels. Yeah, that's gonna be a little hard to see. All right, let's look at, see if I can make this a little bigger. You know, the resolution isn't great at that size, but at least you guys can see what it looks like.
So this is, I think the day, this is maybe like July 2 or 3, and so you see the original bobcat,
Correct.
and then I asked for another bobcat, and right, and I just wanted to, I'd never explored like this, but it probably took me an hour and a half.
Mhm. And you kept putting in text prompts?
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, everything was a text prompt.
Gotcha. Interesting. Now, did you keep building it up on layers?
I did, and then, I have to save with every step. I think I had to keep saving. Do you think that compromised the?
No, it's always good to save because then, if it does go, you don't lose everything along the way. So yeah, I like to save incrementally. So like, yeah, you get the next bobcat, I'd save, and the giraffe or whatever was next. Yeah, I'd keep saving. And the nice thing about layers is then you can move them around and compose it too. Okay, good enough. All right. So let's close that one and we'll hide this one and then well, I don't know what that noise is. Okay. So what would be the comparable to
The
this?
original one right there.
This
see
one.
what that one shows.
Okay. All right,
Okay.
good. So
So
that's
a
the
friend sent
before.
this a couple of weeks, or no, actually last week. This was one of his favorite photos from a trip to Australia.
Mhm.
And I thought, well, what can I do with that?
Mhm.
He's from Wisconsin.
Okay.
I don't know that those people were anybody he knew. I suspect not.
All right. And you did this with it.
So
Let's
Just
just,
did the expand to the left and to the right,
uh,
and asked for a lion lounging on
do
the
that.
ledge,
Uh-huh.
and then asked for three cubs, lion cubs, and could never get three. So I just worked with the two that it provided, and then did generative fill with the one on the end, the left, the far left.
Mhm.
Gave the gal a walking stick, and I guess that's about all.
Got rid of the guy.
Yeah, I think I messed with the sky, that changed the sky.
Mhm. Yeah.
It was just amazing to me, the lighting. The original photo did have light coming in from the right, but my gosh, with that AI, it just is astounding how the light, every subject seems to have the light right.
Mhm.
And if it's bright sunlight, like in this case, that's what you get. And if it's a cloudy day, that's what you get.
Yeah.
That blows my mind.
Yeah. So if you wanted to tone it down, you probably take the highlights down on this before you start doing the generative fill, so it doesn't blow out the things that it's copying the lighting on and so on. I would probably make these cubs a tad smaller, and then
Yeah, how would you do that, Sandy?
well, do they actually put it into the image, or do they put it on a layer?
Oh, man, I don't know.
All right, if they're on a layer, it's easy enough because you can just take it and transform it. The other thing I would do is ground them with some kind of shadow. Looks like there's a little bit there, but I would probably add a little
I
more.
would love to be I'd love to know how to,
Yeah,
I guess it's just a Photoshop, well, if it's in layers, you say that, then it's Photoshop and just,
yeah,
it's a Photoshop, move.
correct. Yeah. So you need some Photoshop or any other kind of editing program that you work in layers or additive. I guess you can use Elements as well, which is a stripped down version of Photoshop. But if you don't have either, I'd probably start with Photoshop. Okay, so let's go on to the next one. Let's see, so we'll take a look at that.
Okay, I just realized that the order is a little bit out. If you were to go down a couple more, we would, yeah, to Tim, the name is Tim.
Mhm. Oh, I see. Yeah, I see.
Okay.
I see what's happened now. Okay.
I figured that he's, at least anybody from Wisconsin would recognize the new, opening to the sea,
Mhm.
the next one. Whoop,
This one.
that one,
Yeah.
the cruise liner out there.
So you made it in the shape of Wisconsin.
And the seagulls.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So that's all added in.
Yeah, I guess that was just kind of like,
All right. So was this the actual original before you extended it? Or is this another version?
yeah, that was the original before I extended it.
Ah, okay,
And that's all I did was go up.
okay. Oops,
Tim, has worked.
This meeting is being recorded.
My friend Tim that sent this photo is an employee in Madison at the Apple store.
okay.
He told me that he's still scared of the AI.
Interesting.
I think there was one more in there.
Yeah, there's another group, this one. Yeah, let's open those two up. Okay, so sorry, I'm getting the order mixed up
Yeah,
here.
well, that's probably the way I've labeled them or something.
I don't know, but at any rate, here's the before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my friend just sent this and I didn't even know whose property it was. But
Yeah.
I said, nice photo, who is this? And he, I knew that right away that driveway needed, so this was expanding left and right, and as a Wisconsin Badger fan, I knew he liked red and white, so that that, and I asked for a tile, the driveway to be red and white tile. And it never did provide tile, but that was good enough.
Mhm.
And
It's like the kids went wild with chalk or something. Yeah, that's fun.
so he wanted to know, and I'll be working next on what it would look like if that house was in the southwest. He's familiar with Arizona,
Hmm.
but I think that will be my next challenge, is to go to a gravel, replace the grass with gravel and put in a lot of cactus.
Oh, there you go.
That'll get his attention.
Yeah, then see if maybe you can change parts of the house, add an addition to the southwest or something.
Sandy, I tried to make
Adobe.
a 4-car garage.
Ah.
I could not make it happen.
Well, wait a minute. You can get 2 cars in each of those doors. There you go. Yeah, it's all interpretation.
But look at the lighting though, you know, the lighting for everything, for the mountains and the lake and the yacht and the lighthouse,
Yeah.
everything was that soft, cloudy bright.
Yep.
You know,
Overcast.
cloudy.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it nails it. So I guess you gotta, like any other tool, when it's limiting you, like the 4-car garage, you gotta start thinking the way it's thinking. So, oh, maybe that's how it's interpreting it. It's two-car bays. If you can't get the tool to do what you want, you have to
Right.
figure out how the tool is doing it. That's always been my theory. And then eliminate as many variables as you can, so you can actually figure out what the tool's doing, and then you can work with
I
it.
thought of you constantly. I thought Sandy should know how to do this.
I don't know if I know how, but I know how to start. And it's just from trial and error with years and years of playing with different programs. Okay. Well, thanks. Keep it up. Let's see what you come up with.
It's not fine art though.
Um, it's a matter of your own interpretation. I don't
Well, I
deny.
respect
Yeah, I don't.
everybody's work here.
Yeah.
And I can't honestly even respect my images, as I call them, rather than photos.
Mhm.
I really don't respect. I didn't do them. You know, it was AI that did them. Well, AI together.
Well, yeah, it's an interpretation, and it's also your taste and how you compose it and what you do with it. It's like any other tool. It's dumb until you direct it how you want it to be. In this case, it's not so dumb because it's got billions of servers with data and all kinds of things to back it up. Okay, Lori, I haven't seen you in a while.
So I'm in a black and white mood after Wendell's class yesterday. And I'm sorry, Wendell, these are a little better than what I showed you yesterday. So this is a black spine prickly pear. And originally it had, inside it's yellow with the red inside.
Mhm.
And so I use Nick. I'm not too happy with the blurred flower in the back, but it is what it is. I used an overexposed filter, and then I changed the film in Nick to the Kodak ISO 32.
Uh-huh.
And I pulled up the fine structure a little bit, and I changed the toning from number 1 to number 4, and I put a little vignette on it, white vignette.
Mhm.
So
Sounds like Panatomic X.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
yeah.
Okay. Well,
Well, there was a lot of stuff. Oh, I darkened the bottom left-hand corner was super light, right down in the very corner, and I burned that the best I could.
mhm.
Yeah. So, but it kind of, it's same. I'm just noticing it's the same thing on the right side.
Mhm.
But I think the vignette helped cover that a little bit.
Mhm. Well, not knowing what you did with it, without you explaining it, and just looking at it as an image, I think it's working. Um, I don't have that much of an issue with this out of focus. Do you guys?
No,
Because I think it's holding, your main subject here.
Yeah,
You might want to crop above this little bud here, just. do a
yeah, I thought about that. It,
but maybe
the
not.
original photo had the whole bud in it.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. That's the only comment I have on it.
Nice.
Anything else?
Saying that she's shooting back on film now?
No, there's a program that emulates different films from back in the day, like Trax and Panatomic X and Agfa and Ilford and all those old wonderful black and white film stocks. Okay, let's go to the next one here.
So I actually got this up in Madeira Canyon of all places.
Whoops.
Whoa,
Oh, where do we go? I hit the wrong.
what did you
There we
do?
go. That's what I want.
So I got this up in Madeira Canyon, and it's a red truck.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to take, there was a person sitting in the truck, and then there was a person standing on the right side looking in the window. So I worked like crazy to get that person out. And it took some doing. I still have that black streak on the upper right that I just couldn't do anything with it. I probably could have used a Dodge tool or something on that, but I also didn't want to mess up the rest of the picture. But it's a Chevy, as you could see, and I like the some of the reflections in the grill and the bumper and stuff, and even in the wheel cover. So, what did I do with this one?
Looks like, oh,
Let me check. Oh, I used the full spectrum and Nick on a blue filter.
okay. Being a people shooter, I guess I'm questioning why you took the people out. Were they not contributing to the image?
No, they weren't. I
Okay.
didn't think so.
Yeah.
The person looking into the window, it was like standing a little bit away. I don't know. I just didn't like it.
Okay.
So I cropped out the driver and got out the, if I wouldn't have cropped out the driver, I would have only had half a person on the right.
Uh,
So
yeah.
I didn't want the whole truck because it was lopsided. It was on a hill as it was. So I did the best I could to straighten it. It was really much worse.
Okay. Did you have the bottom of the tires before you started?
I I had the bottom of one, I think the one on the right.
Yeah.
And so when I straightened it a little bit, it didn't look right with just one.
Yeah.
Um,
All right.
so I did what I could to try to even them off.
Yeah. I guess that crop just makes me feel a little uneasy, like I want to see more. What do you guys think? I'm just, especially the top.
Yeah.
Like this,
Yeah, I could
you see the edge.
do that.
Hood or some brake, and it would be nice if the wheels were, the rest of the tires were there, which you could easily do, in championship fill.
I had to take a quick shot. It was just stopped for a second and I saw it
Mhm.
far away from me and just turned from the birds to the truck. But yeah, I could try to redo it a little bit, maybe even keep it in color.
Yeah, that's a possibility, or maybe crop it more. I don't know.
Hmm.
Just trying to see what might be the best shot here. Yep, go back here. I don't know if you want. I'm just playing here. I'm not sure if that's going to help or hurt. Maybe just a little tighter. Nope, just dropped it. If you're going to be severe, you might as well. Well, I do like that grill.
Yeah.
Yeah, you play, well, maybe we get rid of some of
See, the
this.
grill and headlights would make a shot too, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's a start, and then maybe you could just kind of come in tight and do that.
Yeah.
Drop it just above the Chevy's logo, the height.
Hmm. Yeah, so you can come in
Yeah.
tighter like that.
Yeah, and then bring the left-hand one right over to the headlight.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
that's cool.
I would
Yeah.
bring it down even more at the top, Sandy, just to
Oh, yeah,
right
definitely.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah,
sit
right.
there,
Thanks, Alan.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
try that.
Yeah. There we go. That gives you a little more impact. Might even take a little of that bottom bumper up too.
Yeah.
Somewhere up. Yeah. That's a little more helpful.
I'll try doing that in the color too, because the reflections were in color and
Mhm.
that might be interesting.
Yeah, and then maybe just burn this down a little bit.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay,
Good.
good suggestions. All right. Righty.
So this was one I used yesterday, and upon Wendell's recommendation, did crop the top down and made it a square shot. This is the only one I didn't keep notes on. So it was actually with a phone with my iPhone, and I just took it into the Photoshop Express app, which can do a lot of stuff,
Yeah.
and just converted it into black and white on there,
Mhm.
and put a vignette on it, and that's about it.
Okay. Yeah, I think it works.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah, nice. I like the grain too. Okay.
It's flower day.
Yeah, I've got some too, actually.
So this the last one and this one were both in my backyard, and this is a mammillaria flower. And I cropped it the way I did because which side was it? The top? Not flower center.
You don't have to explain.
Yeah, the top was cropped off
I
accidentally.
understand.
So I tried to crop it so that it was kind of even on every side.
Well, you're giving us-
Anyway, that's a really good image. I love that.
Yeah, I
Right.
think that's the best of the lot. And
Yeah.
the detail is amazing. Yeah, and if you guys live here, how could you not go out in this desert bloom? It was just magnificent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
So that just happened after the rains, or
Yeah,
Oh, that mammillaria was in springtime.
oh, was that earlier? Okay,
Yeah, it was earlier.
yeah. But just look at the pollen everywhere. I mean, it's just, that's
So
why my allergies are going crazy.
I wanted another flower, and this is a Santa Rita prickly pear, again, in my backyard. And it was one of the few that I've had that wasn't kind of folded in on one side, either because it was next to another flower or something. And so I liked it. It was a pale yellow to begin with. And let me see this.
It almost looks like it was
So,
did with
um,
convection.
So I burned, this is another one. I burned some white areas, especially down in the left-hand corner. It was very white, very bright. And let's see. Then I took it back into camera raw, and I added a vignette, added a little texture and clarity. Then I put it in Nick, and this is what I got. Can't remember which filter I used.
Doesn't matter. Looks great. Looks great. Thank you. You're coming along.
Thanks. Next time I won't bring so many flowers.
Oh, whatever.
Nothing wrong with flowers.
Oh,
Okay, thank you. Maybe I'll bring some color pictures.
there you go. Okay, well, I guess we'll just go down the line here. Paula, you had four?
Yeah, I didn't, I was busy doing other stuff, so
Oh,
I
no, I
didn't.
just want to make sure I didn't miss a download or something. Okay.
All right, this is a waterfall that was at the formerly Mirage Hotel in Las Vegas. The Mirage has been torn down, I understand.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, just recently, yeah. Yeah, they imploded it, I guess.
Wow.
Yeah.
And when I originally took it, the water was just very static, and I didn't like it, so I took it in and added some stylized oil painting light stuff to it. So I brought out the highlights and the color. I saturated the color in the rock a little more
Mhm.
to bring that out.
Yeah, it's really neat. I like that. So did you use oil paint or something else?
I was done in Photoshop, the oil painting.
Nice, really nice.
I don't remember what zoo, but I suspect it was in Florida. And this guy was just laying there snoozing, and I just grabbed it. I
I like
blurred
the
out the background a little bit, added a little saturation on the limb and to his skin.
Yeah. Do you have Topaz Photo AI? I wonder if maybe you could
Yeah,
salvage some of that in there.
Salvage what, Sandy?
Sharpen it up a little
Oh,
bit.
I noticed that when I was working on it that it wasn't very sharp. But no, I don't have topaz, so I got to.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know if in camera raw there'd be enough there to get, between.
Yeah, I tried and I couldn't get it.
All right. I guess we could try it out. I really like the composition.
Yeah.
The composition's wonderful.
The white.
Yeah.
It's just wonderful.
Yeah. Let's just give it a try.
I'm going to invest in Luminar and see if I can get it through that. So
Yeah. Well, it's different companies, so
yeah,
I just heard yesterday, just be careful with this Luminar. Apparently, they're they're charging money, and if you haven't authorized, even if you haven't authorized them, you've done something in the past with them, they're going in and adding these features, and then after they charge you, you can't get your money back, even if
oh
even if you
wow,
have even if you haven't asked for it, they just say you can't get it back. So,
now that looks like it's a little overdone, but you see how it masks just the subject so it doesn't affect everything else?
yeah.
That's kind of nice. And then I guess we could take the strength down and try that out. Yeah, it looks a little artificial. It can get a little overdone. So it looks like it's not helping this top a lot, but it is helping the side.
In the eye, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe just a little bit, somewhere like that.
Mhm.
Okay. So then you can export it. All right, so let's go back and find it. See, date modified. Where did I export it to? Export again. See where it goes. Oh, there it is. All right. So let's open that up. Yeah.
Yeah, that did help a lot.
Now what you can do is, you could stack these together in Photoshop in layers and bring back some of this here. So it's
Mhm.
not as chunky as it's showing.
Yeah,
The original, but or what I would do is I'd probably put this one behind this one and then just bring in this area where you want the,
yeah.
masking, and that would take care of it. You guys all understand that?
No,
All right,
it's a,
good enough. All right, let's go on this next guy here.
Okay, the metal turtle is a picture I took. The background is ocean is AI generated. Does anybody recognize what that is?
Yeah, trash can.
Exact. Yeah, it's one of those
Ground
in-ground.
trash can. I've got one.
Yeah. So one of the houses I walked by in the morning had put the leg, had made the turtle out of it. So I had to take a picture of that,
Cute.
and then I added it. I put in the AI water.
I love it.
Like it.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
I hope the neighbor got to see that.
Yeah, you should show that to your neighbor. Yep. That's great. Yeah, I love that.
And this guy had gone into the water dish out back a while ago. It's an old one.
Mhm.
I think I may have overcooked it on the stylized, but I still kind of like it because I didn't like all the rocks that were back there were kind of detracting from it. So I just turned it into this. I did a lot of cropping, removed some other stuff that was in the background.
Yeah. Well, you can improve it a little bit. What would you do? Anybody?
To improve the whole photo or?
Yeah, the way it is now. What would you do to get the your attention more on the bird?
I would take the painting effect off the bird. It's
Or I just,
That's a
I would,
possibility, but okay.
I would probably put more blur in the background.
Okay,
I would
darken
take
it.
out part of that big rock.
okay, you guys are on the right track. I would darken the background up,
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah, and maybe blur it, and maybe do a little vignette too, to bring your subject in. Yeah, in as a moon feature. But I think darkening it down and blurring it a bit would help a lot. You're getting a lot of competition, but because of the,
yeah,
right,
yeah, I agree.
okay, good. Okay. Is that the last shot?
Yep, that's the last one.
Oh, okay, nice. Okay. Close that up. Let's go back to the list and okay, let's go with Tim.
This is a picture of the egret pond just down the street here. And I like photographing this bird because it's kind of a graceful looking bird.
Mhm.
And I try to
Wish I could get rid of
make
this.
a little more contrast or compelling
Mhm.
photo by darkening the background and highlighting the bird. And also like this is the snag, the tree that she roosts on. And I did this about a year ago, and so I've honed my skills some, but I tend to over texturize some things, but the goal here, of course, would have been to paint brush the tree to show light more and sort of give it a bit more depth that way.
Mhm.
And so, sort of more of a proof of concept than an actual final result, but that's kind of what I would look at.
Okay. Is this tree over in the back when you're going north of the pond?
Yeah,
Yeah, Okay. Kind of back in that one area where it's hard to get to, it's all muddy and then, yeah. Oh, nice. I would probably see if you could get a little more detail out of there too. The highlights.
Yeah,
Did you try pulling the highlights down and then compensating a little bit with white?
No, that, I probably should have rolled the highlights down more on the
Mhm.
bird than I did.
Yeah, there's a balancing act between the highlight and the white. And sometimes contrast and exposure, but mostly between the highlight and the white. And if you don't want it to affect everything else, you can just do it with a brush, you know, and do it locally with a mask. You know how to do that?
Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay. Anybody else need to go through that?
like the lighting effect.
Yeah, yeah,
Really?
yeah. I think it's just a little hot here, but
Yeah, Sandy, you asked, well, I understand, I don't.
all right, let me do this.
Hey, Sandy,
Yes,
there was once you went into another program to pull down the highlights.
yeah, I'm gonna use Camera Raw because everybody.
Yeah, but I know, but I'm asking, what was it?
Um, it was, it might have been Luminar. Luminar,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah.
because
Okay.
yeah, there's a super contrast in there. That might have been what I did. Okay.
Okay,
Since we didn't bring this in from raw, we're gonna just go to Camera Raw because you can use it as a filter in Photoshop. It's under filter, the filter menu, okay? And in there, you've got all these different ways of adjusting your image, but these are global. In other words, they do everything. So if I was going to do the highlights here, it pulls everything down, okay? So rather than do that, what I want to do is this little circle is a masking tool, and I'm going to get a brush. You've got all these different things you can do. Okay, and I'm just going to go in this area here. Might try more of the bird. I can always paint out the areas I don't want later by holding down the option key. If I hold down the option key, I can just paint it out so you can see it. Okay, so
You could also intersect the.
correct.
Brush with it, so.
Mhm. So once we have that, then you can take the highlight down. All right, now it's getting kind of muddy, right? So you compensate that with bringing some white up. And you just kind of go back and forth until you get it where you like it.
Mhm. See what you're
And that might be just enough.
saying.
Okay. Now, Tim was mentioning you could select the subject and intersect with a brush, which is a little more advanced. And I think I've shown that in the past, which is helpful. But the basics are playing with this highlight and your whites. You can also come down here to texture, you know, maybe see if there's anything you can pull up in there. Sometimes clarity will work, but usually it'll blow out the highlights anyway, so we'll leave that alone. Dehaze might, yeah, just a little dehaze might help. Tend to try not to use it too much anymore. If you have an image where you've got some shadow detail in there, it'll plug it up pretty quick. Okay. Yeah, so that's how I would do that. So that's your before and after.
Tim, is that a cell phone photo? I'm looking at the format of the picture.
No, it's an R6 and a 1:500 Canon F9. Actually, the speed is pretty low, like.
Let me hide. There we go. Okay.
Figure by not moving.
So
And
you put it in a vertical format?
yeah.
You tilted it?
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Okay.
These next three photos are together and this is Acosta hummingbird, and he did me the favor of posing for me on a hummingbird garden in Portland.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
And This particular hummingbird is actually not as skittish as some of the others.
Nice.
And, but he's aggressive towards other hummingbirds, so when I see him, I don't always see any other ones. But I took a series of pictures and, of course, this is different than the first photo because their distinctive confidence is more color.
Mhm.
So now I'm trying to figure out, is the background of it like a bright background or a dark background? Should I like move it towards a more complementary color or blending color?
I think
I don't know, I always have-
yeah, well, I think the colors are natural. You might want to knock them down a bit,
Yeah,
you know? Just because everything's kind of in this, if you squint, everything's almost in the same tonal value.
yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah, that might be something you could do. So,
This is right down here, Desert Meadows Park too.
oh, okay,
So
interesting. Looks like he's puffing up like he's a little colder maybe or
Mhm.
something, yeah. Nice. Okay, well, there we go.
this is, you know, in the same
Mhm.
little shooting. I'm
Mhm.
trying to give some directional light and depth and, you know, maybe kind of blue them out a little bit. You know, it's kind of,
Mhm.
but that's what I was trying to achieve.
Are you cranking up texture or sharpness?
Yeah.
Yeah, looks like you went a little overboard.
Yeah.
Do you do it? Do you do it at 100%?
No.
That's the trick. You know, you can kind of eyeball it full frame to see how it looks, but then go to 100% and look at it
Yeah,
because it's getting a little crunchy in here.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's a good trick to do. Look at it one to one or even 200% sometimes, depending on how small the subject is that you're trying to sharpen. Yeah. That's kind of,
More self-control than I used to.
yeah, I know, me too. You get these tools and you go, oh, wow, you really hit this sharp and then it gets too far. Yeah. Kind of like that photo AI we were just in, it tends to overdo it and then you gotta tame it down, you know, because it gets a little artificial. Okay. Especially with that, because it's using AI to add what's not there, you know, and sometimes it's good and sometimes like the top scales on that lizard don't look realistic enough. Okay, wonderful.
It's really
That's
nice.
great. I love that.
Yeah, that's,
That's nice.
this is good composition. Yeah.
This one, I masked the wings and added even more texture.
Mhm.
But it did bring the wings out now. It's still.
No, that,
It's,
but the wings are perfect. So, yeah, in this case, you could mask the wings out separate from the body and the head
Yeah.
and get that detail. And then if you want to adjust the head and the body some, do that in another mask.
the other thing I did is I made a radial gradient around the eyeball
Mhm.
and, I sharpened that up
Mhm.
some and, did the, you know, took any noise out and that kind of helped shine it up a little bit.
Definitely. Yeah, that's a nice trick. You can also just dab it with a brush too. You know, and just make sure it's a soft brush so it falls off kind of like a reel. Sometimes those reels are hard to control when you get them that small.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas a brush would be pretty easy, you know. But yeah, don't always try and, especially on something like this where you've got different levels of sharpening you want to do, don't try and do it all in one mask.
Yeah.
Yeah, just, it's so easy to make them, you know, especially now with the auto masking, you can,
Yeah.
you can do it pretty quick.
And again, the background, I don't know, I should have darkened it more, or it's just.
Maybe a little bit, yeah. Yeah, especially down in this area, maybe just a little bit more.
Sometimes you can desaturate it a little bit to
Mhm.
hit in the eyes strongly.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another way to do it.
Yeah.
And
The
rather,
only thing that bothers me about it, it's a brilliant photo, but the bill, Costas have black bills and, it's so bright.
Mhm. Yeah, you could knock that down a bit too
Yeah.
if you're the raw image. And again, you could just make a mask for this.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's a good idea.
yeah. Well, yeah, I would do the desaturation. You could first try it globally with just working with the yellows and greens,
Mhm.
and see what, that might be enough. You might not have to mask it at all.
Yeah.
And you could also do the luminance a little bit. Let's play with that real quick. Hopefully we got time for everybody here, but I think this is important for people to learn, so. That's a nice image to work on, so. Yeah, all right. So we just go back to camera raw and put on a color mixer and just see what the greens do. So maybe just a hair less saturation,
Mhm.
and then maybe take your luminance. Yeah, let's see what the yellows do. Actually, you might want to go up with the yellows and down with the greens, you know. So you can kind of do that balancing act until you get what you like,
Yeah.
you know. So, yeah, that might help out. So, yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
Might be enough.
yes.
No masking at all, so it makes it easy. Sure. Okay. Not sure why this wants to give me
These
grief
last
today.
two photos are, the hummingbird's distinctive competence is its color. This is more challenging because these are turkeys, wild turkeys out of season. And so I'm trying to take photos of them. This is the head turkey in charge of it.
I think I saw him the other day.
Yeah, and, you know, you can't really make them beautiful, but if you can make them compelling somehow.
Oh, I think the composition's lovely. It's just,
Yeah, I like the way he's kind of contorted himself. But I don't know if anybody else have any other suggestions on the backgrounds are darker and blurred better. In some ways, that's better, so.
what do you guys think you do with the background?
A little bit of a vignette and maybe darken the foreground a bit.
Yeah, I'd say the highlights, bring the highlights
Yeah,
down.
get rid of
Yeah,
that
darken the
yellow
foreground.
stripe.
Exactly. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, just work those areas. Okay. We got one more, and these are hard to shoot because they're always down in the shade.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's all right. I like that.
you get some sun on them.
This was in a wash, so
Yeah, okay.
I'm laying down in a wash. And, you know, I'm not as young as I used to be, so jumping up and down is.
It's getting up is the hard part. Yeah, especially with your gear.
And so this, you know, I have another bird sort of in the background, and I'm not sure if that's adding to it, if I should just cut it out. Or, wait, somebody any thoughts about that?
Well, maybe you can get rid of this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that might be enough. Yeah. And then once you do that, you might have to bring in some of the side here. Yeah, that could work. So
Okay.
maybe even get a little tighter with them so there's not so much going on here.
Yeah.
So
That's good.
maybe something like that.
Yeah, right, yeah.
You might even want to bring this in a little bit more. Yeah. Up to you. Okay.
Hey, Sandy, do you mind if I go next? Because I've got an appointment here coming up.
Certainly, no problem. No problem. Yeah, that's all those. All right, up to Alan. I think, yeah, and then we'll get to Wendell. So don't forget. Or work our way back now, whatever we want to do here. Okay.
So the weekend, I went out in a photo shoot to a place called Dinosaur Provincial Park, and it's where they find obviously a whole lot of fossils from the dinosaurs, and it's a pretty famous spot. So this particular image, we took nine shots of the Milky Way and stacked them, and then 4 shots of the foreground and stacked them. Now the foreground one, they were 3-minute exposures.
Wow.
So they're pretty long exposure. So,
So you didn't do them earlier before it got dark or?
did them right at the same time. Yeah.
Okay. And what did you use to eliminate the noise, or was it stacking enough?
The stacking, and then I used Starry Landscape
Uh-huh.
is the program I used to stack the Milky Way.
Mhm.
And then just Photoshop was, I just used that for the foreground.
Mhm.
And I brought them both into foreground and put them together.
Nice.
So I like deleting lines from the rocks and stuff going up to the
Yeah. Now, were these all shot in the same spot, or did you just?
same spot. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it didn't move the camera at all between the Milky Way shot and the foreground shot wasn't moved.
Mhm. Yeah. Which is the way traditionally you do it. The other way would be to, shoot the foreground, shoot the sky, and then photo compose it. And it doesn't necessarily have to be from the same day or even the same location. So, yeah, but this works out nicely.
Yeah, I was pretty happy with it.
Okay, good.
And this was on the way home. So the canola fields are coming into bloom, and the old shack and the blue sky and the yellow fields is just compelling. So
Yeah, you've got the complementary colors going and the reflections in the metal are wonderful.
yeah,
Bluing that up. I like that old shack too.
yeah, yeah.
The offset composition is perfect.
Mhm.
Don't you think, Sam?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I like the fact that it's not symmetrical. Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there any more detail you can pull in here?
Probably, yeah,
Yeah,
probably.
just a hair. You don't want to get too crazy. But show you this one. Yeah, nice. Ah,
Yeah. Yeah, and a few weeks ago went out. There's a road that they close in this area called Kananaskis during the winter,
mhm.
and it opened on, I think it was in June 12th. So this is a couple of weeks afterwards, and they close it to protect the wildlife. But so you go up this road, and you see all these dandelions, and these bears are just loving the dandelions. So it took 3 trips up and down the road to actually find one, but this guy was right there, right close.
Wow, nice, nice. This you might want to play with in photo AI and just see if you can get a little bit of this in there, but it might get crunchy too. Just this area here.
Yeah.
Very nice. Oh, that's very nice.
I like that.
That's really nice.
So again, this is the third trip. This one was down to a place called Watertown. It's right on the Alberta-Montana border. And we've got some beautiful, apparently it's the wildflower capital of Canada, this place. So
Oh,
we're out in the fields and so this one's I put a little topaz effect on this.
mhm.
Just to the original photo was actually really just as good, but I like the effect of the Monet style type.
Mhm.
Kind of a watercolor effect.
I think it's the Monet effect.
Okay.
So Joe, these are filters and other tools that predated AI, and then some of them got a little bit of AI as things went along, and then Topaz unfortunately abandoned this particular software and went to do the photo AI to sharpen things and create things and actually do that for video as well. So if you have video that's out there, they have a tool that'll go frame by frame and do it as well. So it's kind of interesting. But it's a progression, and basically again, they're just tools, and don't be embarrassed to use them. No. Oops, let me get that out of the way.
Yeah, and so this was back at the Dinosaur Provincial Park prior to the Milky Way shoot. So you can see the landscape that it has is
Yeah. So this is sunset.
sunset. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. Just an amazing place. The terrain is it's just you can just imagine these dinosaurs walking all around here.
Yeah. Wonderful. Okay. Thanks, Alan. Those were great.
Great, thank you.
Okay. Well, if you want to catch up, the rest will be recorded. And,
I will. I'll have to leave in about 5 minutes here. So.
okay. All right. We're gonna have to kind of pick up the pace. We got about 25 minutes here and a bunch of people to show yet. So let's rock through these and go ahead, Dave.
Okay, folks,
Time for you.
pictures from my last Gold Country trip. Here is
has. I've been on vacation and
Yep.
oh my God, so yeah.
Somebody's talking, please mute.
Almost over, which is a little weird. So, thank you.
Might be Paula. Yeah, thank you. Okay, go ahead.
okay, in the 1850s mining camp reenactment. There was a Mark Twain actor walking around, and here you see him taking a break, looking into the magic lantern theater that they had set up.
Mhm.
And so I made a composite here. What you see is the young Mark Twain looking at a statue of himself in the future when he becomes famous after having written The Adventures of Tom Sawyer and Huckleberry Finn.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, so this is a composite, Sandy, with the statue is made into a PNG and inserted into the darkness.
Mhm.
Okay,
Nice.
so and just a quick side note, this is a really interesting statue that's in Utica Park on top of a gigantic gold mine in Angels Camp. And just a side note that's kind of fun, back in the day, the Hells Angels rode in and hacksawed off 4 frogs that were jumping off of the statue.
Ah,
Sandy, I'm still on the frogs, and I'll
yeah.
get through that real soon. But so the Hells Angels hacksawed, there were frogs jumping out of each corner of the statue.
Mm.
And they have recovered 2 of the frogs, and they're now on display in the museum.
Ah, okay. So you try mending it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this was really fun to create, the lighting and the mystery and, the historical interest.
Mhm. I'm curious. This tension here at the doorway, I'm wondering if maybe either moved it down closer to the door, but then I think it looks better when it's back because it's giving you depth.
Yeah.
So maybe I would have made it a little
Little
smaller and
yeah.
pushed it back a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in other words, you have more room here and still have the height here.
Farther back, receding back.
Yeah, so it kind of looks like it's in there a little bit. And then, maybe even run some shadows across this, so it looks like he's kind of back
In
there.
the darkness.
Yeah. Just a thought.
Okay, here's an old building with a skewed window, and I added in the wagon wheel fragment
Mhm.
and then skewed that image to mimic along with the jarring lines of the old window. So that's Sandy, I've been starting to learn how to use PNGs now, with taking out the background and then superimposing it onto another thing.
Mhm.
So I skewed that so it would zig and zag along with the window.
Well, you're getting into basically masking at that point.
Yeah, every week,
Yeah,
me and my
you're-
wife are on the computer and we're learning one little skill every week as we go.
There you
along.
go. Yeah,
Yeah.
then it doesn't get overwhelming.
Yeah,
Yeah. Meanwhile, you're making some nice images, so
Thank you.
keep it up.
okay, an interesting street scene. I call it the orange drink because the central figure is holding that beverage and that's in focus. So Sandy, this is also a composed image. The integral photograph was the two women on the left and the right. And so I decided to put him in the middle as the central focus, and then I had to stretch out the other women out to the sides to get him to fit in. Again, that's a PNG, remove the background, put it in. And then it's run through a filter, I believe it's watercolor. And like how you were talking earlier, you gotta slide it back, because when it first turns on, it's just outrageous, right? You
Yeah.
gotta tame it back.
Yeah, yeah.
So this one has dramatic lighting, and I kind of like that effect.
I like it a lot.
Yeah,
Yeah, you got some nice depth going there.
yeah, we had to go back and forth on the slide bar till we decide which one fits, you know. Yeah, you have to make choices with that.
Yeah.
Okay, I spotted this grand old Packard up in Columbia State Park. Took a photo at just that fragment. And then I said, you know, I like to put compositions together with something else. So a classic image combination is a car with a beautiful figure. So I got this snapshot at the county fair. And really the only relationship here is the curvaceous woman and the curvaceous car, right? So I just put it together. It's a collage, and then that's run through watercolor.
Yeah. I like the tension of them going opposite directions,
Yeah.
whereas normally you'd face them together.
It didn't work at all
Of
facing
course not,
together.
yeah. I
It
can
didn't
visualize
work.
that. No, I think it works perfectly this way.
Yeah, and Sandy, there's no PNG superimposition. They're
Right,
two
yeah,
separate
you
images.
just buttered them up, yep.
But I just love that grand old Packard. That's just
Oh,
a
yeah,
beautiful
they're
car.
wonderful cars.
Well preserved. Okay, here's a gorgeous color picture. Me and my wife were up in Murphy's watching a Memorial Day concert, and across the grass and across the river, there were some women dressed in traditional Asian costumes, and it was so colorful and beautiful. And so I photographed them with a very long zoom. I was leaning against a tree to try and stabilize. And I captured this image with the out of focus green leaves. And then I made a combination to enhance the color composition. There's a kaleidoscope of green leaves against a red background.
So that was 2 or 4 images?
Two.
Yeah.
Two. And I thought they glued together nicely, the greens, and very colorful. This is run in watercolor, which enhances the color.
Nice. This almost looks like a spine with a hip bone going.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Very cool.
When you do a symmetrical flop, Sandy, kaleidoscope, it has that insect bone look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, or Rorschach, but
Yeah,
this,
it's a
yeah.
Rorschach ink block. Yeah.
Yeah, but this one actually looks more like a backbone and some
It
hips.
does, you're right.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, Don.
Yeah, I've done mostly stuff around the house. This go around, this here's a bank. I worked for Goodyear Tire and Rubber, and every year they come out with a different model and stuff that was a bank. So
Oh, nice.
I collected all of them, and I just decided to put it on acrylic and try for reflections and take some shots of the banks I had.
Oh, good fun.
Hey, Sandy, I've got to go. I got a 3 o'clock, but thanks a lot for showing me, having me sit in. I'll get my images next time.
Okay, sorry I missed you earlier. Speak up if you got to go sooner so I can get you. All right,
Sure, no
I'll
problem.
save it for you. Thanks.
Okay,
Take
thank
care.
This
you.
here's a carving that I picked up in Alaska, up a Nome. Not sure it's ivory or whether it's whalebone. I thought they told me if you're not a native, you can't own ivory. So if that's the case, it's probably whalebone, but I don't know. But it was a carving that I bought up there.
Nice.
And this was another carving. This one here, I think, is whalebone. But this one here I had to do because of the length of it. I had to done 5 stacked shots on that to keep it all in focus.
Okay, so focus stacking, nice. Yeah, I like that.
Thank you. And this is 2 more banks.
Mhm.
What's that? Is he shooting on black acrylic or?
Correct.
Yeah, beautiful.
Yeah, I think we have some of it here when we do the studio stuff. Coming up. Oh, I like that.
And this is the collage. This was taken on in New York on the High Line. This is a single tree backed by high-rise apartments. So I made a collage out of it. And this is what I ended up with.
Nice. It's got kind of like overtones of Chihuly in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, how did he collage it? I don't get it. How do you do diagonals?
So you did a step and repeat and rotated it.
Yeah, make 4 copies, mirror them, then make a copy of the 4, and then rotate it 45, and then rotate it 45 the other, then rotate it 90, and then
Yeah.
collapse the stack, merge them together.
Got it. Okay. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah,
Lot
it
of-
was.
Yeah, nice. Real nice.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah, I think that's the best of the lot. Okay, well, Jim Bowman took off. Jim Murphy, you still here?
Yeah, I'm still here.
All right. Techno Day. Yeah, I think I let you in twice. I don't know what happened. Yeah, I think you
Right.
came back in. What are we looking at here?
Yeah, you're looking at a sphincter muscle.
Uh,
It's the iris sphincter muscle. So
Okay.
that's I took that with a macro lens. It's a, it's an iris with the
Oh,
pupil. That's
okay.
all the pupillary rough, the black stuff from around there.
Okay, I thought you were talking about the other end.
No, that's next week.
Yeah, that would be the gastroenterologist job, right? Okay. Wow. Okay, so did you colorize this a bit, or is this kind of
A little bit, yeah. I did change the color slightly. I added, I don't remember now, but a little bit of pinks or something. The color wasn't very good.
Mhm.
I just used a flashlight with one hand and held the camera with the other. Get a little bit of side lighting.
What's going on here? Is those?
That's a persistent pupillary membrane.
Oops, sorry about that. What's going on here?
Oh,
There we go.
Yeah, it's just a little membrane. It's
Like-
been there since birth.
I got
Looks
it.
like a cobweb.
Yeah, I thought maybe it was floaters. Nice. I would have never guessed. The only thing I would probably do, sorry, I keep bumping this darn screen thing, is maybe knock that out.
Okay.
Yeah. That'd probably be about it. Nice. All right. That is
It's just,
gorgeous.
I took this with, I believe, with a telephoto lens. When I was a kid, we had these flowers in our yard, so I've always liked this flower, and and then I put some filters on it, obviously there. So
Yeah.
I can't remember the filters. I think I used a couple filters, expressionism and something else.
Mhm. It's really interesting the way the center has all these little things going. Does this eventually bud out as well?
There's seeds. I think the seeds are inside there.
Okay.
If you cut it open, there's kind of a white milky material that comes out of there. So it's kind of like similar, I think, to a heroin poppy.
Oh, okay.
incredible image.
Yeah, nice crop. Good composition. I like that.
Yeah, so a recent trip to Victoria, and I was sitting at a table having a drink, and a woman came over and said, "Why are you just sitting here?" I didn't know this woman. I was like, "Huh?" She says, "There's a rainbow outside, and you have a camera on the table. Go take a picture." So I did go outside and took a picture, and the rainbow of the Empress.
That's great.
Yeah, I was oblivious to the fact there was a rainbow, so she scolded me.
There you go. Or motivated you.
That motivated me, yeah. So took the BC ferry basically from Vancouver to Victoria, more or less, and it was one of those kind of moody days where some of the sky, was clear and blue, and then there were like thunderstorms here and there. So
Nice.
just a shot of the BC ferry.
I like what's going on over the peaks here.
Yeah, it's raining back there.
Yeah. Very nice. Got a real nice straight line going there too. No, that works out well.
Yeah, just another seascape shot, and again, put some filters on it. Tried to kind of emphasize the clouds a little bit because I really like the clouds, and there's a little bit of rain coming down.
Mhm.
And do I remember the name of this particular filter? I might come to me. I don't remember it right offhand, but yeah. So just kind of a seascape thing, with kind of moody with blues.
Yeah, it's nice because it kind of takes some of the detail out and makes it more graphic. It's like a little space.
Yeah, it's one of the painterly ones. I can't remember the name of it right now.
So this is in Topaz Studio.
Yes, right.
Very nice. Well, good. Thanks for bringing those in. Hope next time we don't have you don't have as much technical difficulty.
Yeah, I hadn't upgraded my Zoom, so that's why it wasn't working. I didn't have the latest and greatest Zoom, so
Okay. Oh, is that why you came back the second time?
yeah, I upgraded it, so it got it working.
Good. All right. Well, thanks. Okay, Wendell.
Okay, this, here's the one in the valley. These are all done in Photoshop primarily.
Okay.
This was pretty much the colors I got at sunset.
Wow.
Gorgeous. And it was taken from our little balcony at the View Hotel.
Mhm.
So I first got the whole expanse on some images, but I did like this one, just the one tower. And I did darken the sky, just
Mhm.
darken the blue,
Yeah.
pretty much. Almost thought of desaturating a little bit. But
Mhm. Yeah, it gets almost candy color
Yeah.
as you darken it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, the textures and the details are wonderful.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think I did boost the texture a little bit
Mhm.
to clarity.
Sure. I find I'm using the texture slider more than the clarity lately.
Yeah.
Because it's a little more subtle and doesn't blow out the highlights so much.
Yeah, clarity, I guess, handles midtones.
Yeah.
pretty,
Sometimes a combination, yeah.
Yeah.
Just got to play with it.
This was Upotki National Monument down on Highway 89 north of Flagstaff.
Uh-huh.
And this is not the main ruins, it's the Wukoki ruins about a mile or two from the visitor center. But it's not as big as the main ones, but that is more photogenic. And I like the soft round rock there. in the
I
foreground.
love the erosion on there.
Yeah.
It's really nice.
Roundabout basement,
Oops.
contrasted with the angularity of the
Mhm.
structure.
Yeah. That's a wonderful little park.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've walked that a few times.
State park,
that's a national monument.
national monument.
Yeah,
Mhm.
the park is next to the Sunset Crater.
Mhm. That whole area is really nice.
And that's the north window view in Monument Valley.
Getting close. All right.
I'm gonna turn the electricity off.
Oh, come on, we got 10 minutes. Oh, your clock's slow. I'm sorry. You got 5 minutes. Uh-oh. Let's get it rolling here. Oh, that's really nice.
Was grossly overexposed. But I was able to salvage it, and it has spunky colors. But Thought it looked kind of interesting. Yeah, it does.
Nice. Ah,
Trichoceros in the yard.
mhm.
This is one I did the selection and desaturated the background and
Yeah.
darkened it a little bit.
Yeah, nice. Well, I'm gonna whip through mine real quick and then I guess we'll call it a day here. Yeah, I did all kinds of flowers this bloom as well. Thanks, Wendell. This was actually from the Bouchard Gardens up where you were, Jim, in Vancouver Island, Victoria. Um, some years back, and I just blurred the background and desaturated it a little as well. This one was my finally got some lily flowers and bloom in our little pond in the backyard, so I just darkened it up a little bit in the water. And then these were cactus blooms using 100 to 500 millimeter, and kind of like the bokeh on that one rather than using the 100 macro lately. Just been kind of playing around with that. Nice. Another version of that.
This is the same kind of flower I did,
Mhm.
different angle.
Yeah, and these were
Gorgeous.
that same kind of thing. Yeah, and I've been kind of darkening the backgrounds up and selecting the subjects. The pollen on these things is amazing. It's just, yeah, it's just out everywhere, you know, so. Yep, so that's mine. All right, I guess we gotta get out of here because the clock in the back here is 5 minutes slow. Okay, guys, I'll get this up. All right, take care.
Right.
Yep, see y'all next time.